up? It's Slyce. Hustle. And this is Built Before the Algorithm Studio Edition ATL. We live at Patchwerk, y'all. We live at Patchwerk. Legendary. This is wild. Legendary. Hey, let's take them on the journey. All right. I'm Slyce. I'm Hustle. We here with the man himself, owner of Patchwerk Studios, Mr. Curtis Daniel III. Yes, sir. I appreciate you having us, man.
No problem, man. No problem.
Yes, sir.
Legendary.
Legendary Studio. So we got some questions for you, man. First thing I want to know is what inspired you to even start Patchwerk, get involved with Patchwerk, even put your name on it? Like how'd you get here?
I'm from California, from Carson, California, which is in LA. It's kind of like, if you're from you meet somebody and they ask you for where you from and they're not from California, you may just say California. If you meet somebody that's familiar with California, then you say I'm from LA. And then if it's somebody that's from there, then you say I'm from Carson. And then if somebody really know that, you say I live in the Patch. So the name of the neighborhood that we grew up in is called the Patch, the Cabbage Patch, CPG, Cabbage Patch Gangsters.
Dude.
And so basically putting in work for your neighborhood is how we came up with Patchwerk. Instead of riding around, beating people up, doing drive-bys and all that stuff, we wanted to honor where we came from. So it's not like, I've been a part of the Patch since I grew up. And so we got into the music industry because of one of our mutual friends, an artist named Razcast, started rapping. We thought he was incredible. And us being about 20-something years old, we had heard that, hey, if you cut a demo, you can get a record deal. And we believed it. Mm-hmm. And so the original owner of the studio, Bob Whitfield, had got drafted by the Falcons first round. He was the highest paid lineman in NFL history. So he had a bunch of money, convinced him to do a demo on Raz, and we thought we would get a deal. Mm-hmm. And so we did the demo, and we couldn't get a deal. And so we was still young and a couple years older and was just like, well, we should just start our own record label. So the studio just turned 30 because we started in July of 95, but our record label started in 93. So we started out as a record label. We got our deal with Priority. We spent a bunch of money on the studio and production. And so we was like, we should just do our own studio so we can do our albums here. So that's what started the studio.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's fire.
Yeah.
Okay. Being that you've been here, staple in Atlanta, when you think of studios, you think of Patchwerk. Simple as that. Why do you think artists keep coming back to Patchwerk?
I mean, from day one, you guys are in a room with a lot of equipment. Mm-hmm. We did buy the top of the line gear and design the room, spent a bunch of money. But from day one, I've always told people we don't sell studio time, we sell customer service. Mm-hmm. And so we've been servicing the community since we started in 95, and we give back. And this is the place that, hey, if you got a niece or a nephew, or if you up and coming and you want to shoot a video that I didn't charge you for, right? Mm-hmm. So those things have been going on for 30 years, and you build up goodwill, and then we look like the people that we serve. We go to the concerts, we buy their records, we read their articles, we buy their clothes, we support them. So we've been the same the whole time, and people connect to that. So you guys, this is our first time meeting, but when you leave, you should be like, oh, they was cool. Man, if I need to do something, I'm going to come up there. So you think about our brief interaction, and we've been putting that out for 30 years. Wow. And so when people do come to Atlanta, or somebody's coming in and they be like, I want to record somewhere, and you want to go where you're comfortable, safe, secure, and don't have to worry about anything, then you think about us. But yeah, we just been selling customer service since day one.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, customer service with a great facility and great product is what separates you. Some people have one and not the other. Great service, but not the right gear. The right gear, but their attitude sucked. And then I always say the biggest thing was timing. We ended up being here right on the verge. The only thing that we kind of missed was the first Outkast album, but everything else, we were here.
Yes, sir. Okay. Leading into that, or following up from that, how do you think Patchwerk helped shape Atlanta's sound as far as music?
We gave people a home. So prior to us, there's a couple things. So prior to us upping it up, I always tell people we are a 100% commercial facility, which means that anybody can work here. Before we opened up our studio, all the studios belonged to sort of like a label, an entity or something, and you had to be assigned to them to work there. Like I said, we can run through them. If you wanted to work at Jermaine's studio, you had to be on So So Def. If you wanted to work at Dallas's studio, it had to be Sound and Rowdy. If you wanted to work at La Coco, you needed to be signed LaFace. If you wanted to work at Bosstown, you had to know Bobby Brown. So we kind of came in as 100% belonging to the city. And then when you get people from other places, they don't want to come and stay in somebody else's house. They want to get a room that belongs to them when they're here.
Right.
And so, one of the things we did is when we built this big room, we paid $1.3 million for this console.
Wow.
And this is the room that allowed our artists to stay home. This is prior to this, you could record here, but you might have to go to New York or LA or Miami to mix your record. By us building this world-class facility here and making it available to all the artists and up-and-coming people, it allowed people to come home. And if you want to know how it changed, just listen to music before Patchwerk and listen to music after we got here sonically. And ironically, we had 30 years, so we see a lot of our clients celebrating their 20th anniversary. Like Jeezy just did a run. We did that whole album here, recorded it and mixed it. And we did the live out, and it still sounds amazing. Tip got an album that's about to turn 17 or 20. Luda and them got albums. So those things stand the test of time because we paid attention to all the details. And so if you going out and listening to an album that we did 25 years ago, and it sounds better than the stuff that you're doing now, then that's one of the reasons why they keep coming back.
Yeah. Hey, I'm into all that information. My first question is, what do you want artists to feel here? I feel like you covered this already, but specifically, what do you want artists to feel when they come to Patchwerk?
They should feel comfortable enough to be vulnerable. I mean, you should walk in and immediately feel like you can bare your soul here. And you should feel at ease and at peace that it's done right. Like I've had some clients that be like, man, the record label trying to make me go over here. But every time I go over here, I'll be worried about if they doing my stuff right. It's like when I come over here, I don't have to worry about it. I know it's gonna sound good on stage. I know it's gonna sound good in my car. So we want you to be, if you're an artist coming here, we want you to be as creative as you can be. And the way that you can be more creative if we alleviate all of the stuff that you're worried about.
Right.
You ain't gotta go out and get no food, we'll send a runner. You ain't gotta go get no drinks, we'll send a runner. You need a certain type of microphone, we got it. You need a lounge, we got it. You need somebody to upload something, we got it. So we want you to come in, and you're dealing with all these stresses in the real world and people calling you and bugging you. But when you come here, it should feel like your sanctuary. Like, man, it's quiet. You don't hear any outside noise. You still got sunlight coming in.
Yeah.
Everything's taken care of. So we want you to be as creative as you can be and make some dope records. You know what I mean?
That's a great answer.
Yeah.
Convenience creates peace.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Yeah. We try to make it easier to do business. And like I said, for the record labels, they've cut back their staffs tremendously over the last 30 years. And so I know that we offer a place of peace. If you are A&R, then you got an artist coming in town. Rick Ross was here yesterday. Rick Ross coming in, you just call and say, hey, I want to book 6 hours for Rick Ross. We done. We get the PO. If they need food budgets or whatever, we take care of all that. You can go to sleep.
Yeah.
You book them somewhere. You book them somewhere else from 6 p.m. to 2 in the morning. You might not sleep all night because you're worried about, man, are they going to have a good engineers? Are you going to have a problem or whatever? So it's kind of like peace of mind for the artists, for the admin, for the labels, and for everybody that we did it right. Even for a mastering engineer, if it came from here, you know it's going to be right. So we're trying to do that all the way down the line. For when you originally call, was it easy? Yep, they sent you a link. You made an appointment, you called me, we talked for about 10 minutes, y'all standing here.
Right.
If you want to book a session, hey, it's open. Here's your invoice. Here's the thing to make the payment. We got you the engineer. Here's a copy of your session report. Here's your files. And so we want it to be seamless like that throughout the whole process. I just don't think that it should be difficult. I've met with people like you and they ask me something and I say, yeah. And they literally be sitting there and be like, that's it. And I'd be like, what do you want me to do? You want me to run you around in a circle and do all the bullshit, man? You want to shoot something here? You ain't got no money. And y'all just up and going. Come on, man. Come early in the morning before these artists get here. I'll open up the building. It's that simple. We don't have to be butt heads and have an ego when we dealing with people. Yeah, that irritates me, man.
And that lasts forever because you never forget it.
Right.
Never forget it.
Yeah. So my thing is, okay, there are potential customers. We want to identify them, bring them in here, and then we want to turn them into clients. And then we want to service them and then turn them into advocates. And so y'all gonna be advocates. Y'all gonna walk out of here, call somebody or post a picture
Absolutely.
and say, hey man, I went to the studio Patchwerk. This shit ain't nothing like nothing if you work.
Yep.
And that's the cycle.
Yep.
Right? That's what we want to do.
Yep.
We want you guys to be advocates because me bragging about the studio sound like I'm just talking about my own kid.
Right.
Somebody else talking about their experiences and what it did and the plaques on the wall validates it. Yeah, I don't need to.
Totally different.
I want y'all to go out and say, man, dude was cool. You know what I mean? And he's the actual owner. And he did this and he did that.
Yeah. All right. So coming from Jersey, I heard about Patchwerk when I was leaving Jersey in '98. And I think Outkast was talking about it in the interview. But I
was in that documentary.
Yeah, I only thought Patchwerk was about hip hop artists. But you guys have seen all forms of music come through here.
Mhm.
What's the key to longevity in music industry for you?
Being humble, no better than, no worse than, not overstating your capabilities and telling people when they ask you something, being honest. Like I'll tell people a lot, we could do that, but we don't do it. And like I said, we list a list of services that we provide. And if we say we offer a service, we think we in the top 5 that offer that service. And just being consistent and maintaining, making sure everything works, making sure you don't see a light bulb out, right? If you go in the bathroom and hit the soap dispenser, soap need to come out. If you go in there and got to pull some toilet paper, it needs to come out. If you hit the water machine, it needs to work, right? If you pull in the back gate, the gate shouldn't be broke. Right. So we want everything to work, and all those little things just add up. And being fair. I'll be so surprised that new studios open up and they charge more than us. And I'd be like, I know what we spent and I know what we worth. And y'all charging this amount of money? Right. And it's like you might get a person, but they ain't gonna come back because they felt like you took advantage of them. So we kind of hit in a place where, people feel like they're getting a good value for their money. And we want to over deliver with our services and stuff like that.
Definitely. That's great, man. To piggyback on that last question, seeing all artists come through, legends, some of them just teeny boppers, some last a week, a month, a year. What's the difference in longevity between a long-lasting artist and a trending?
Work.
Just
I mean,
work.
like I say, y'all did some B-roll. But what you need to look at when you're looking at the B-roll, look to see if it's that artist's first album. Now we probably got 2 or 3 of them because they do multiple albums here. But if we did that first album, nobody knew who they were before we didn't know that they was a star before they came in here, but we gave them the star treatment. Right. And we worked on their project like millions of people are going to hear this. But the consistent theme is they asses was in the studio. I mean, you would have to put them out. They wouldn't coming in here doing 2 hours and 4 hours and leaving and running up out of here. They was in the studio for 12 to 16 hours a day, 6 days a week, unless they was on the road. And if they went to the club, they booked the studio from 6 to 4 or 5 in the morning. They would leave at midnight, go to the club, catch the vibe, bring the vibe back to the studio and make that record. Right. So the difference is the work ethic and then the team behind them. Like I always tell people, my indicator of if new artist is going to do well is when I'm dealing with the admin. So I'll give you an example. If it's an up and coming artist and it's hard for me to get a purchase order, I'll be like, hey. And then if they ask for a food budget, the label be like, no, I'll be like, they ain't really supporting them. Then we do the session, we send the bill in, and they don't pay me for 2 or 3 months. But like, when we did Beyonce, man, they was harassing me for the bill. We wasn't even done. Not only did they pay it, they FedExed me the check the next day. We finished in the morning. They called me for the bill. I sent them the bill. The next day, it was FedExed. That indicates to me that they taking care of everything. So now the engineers that work on her project are paid. They're not mad. The DJs are paid. The street team is probably paid. The radio team is paid. Her manager is paid. The studio paid. We all got good vibes about her. We happy. We want to celebrate. That new rapper, man, the studio ain't got paid for 45 days. The engineer ain't got paid. The producer arguing about his credits. It doesn't really give it a fair opportunity to be successful. So from the artist end, what I see is hard work, spending time in the studio, not coming to the studio by themselves and working in a silo, bringing other people to the studio so that they can critique their shit and tell their homeboys that shit is whack. And then from the label, how they support it is a good indicator of whether or not it's going to work or not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Still. So being that me and Hustle got a project built before the algorithm, that's the thing, right? I want to ask you, what does that phrase mean to you, built before the algorithm? Because when we think of studios, we think of Patchwerk. So what does that mean to you, built before the algorithm?
Well, it seems it would mean that it's a group or artist or a project that was designed on some principles before the algorithm came in place. That they just like, hey, we going back to the basics. We're gonna get good production, good rhymes, good concepts, good metaphors, sonically make sure that it's straight, and then that's what we're gonna be marketing. We're not doing any gimmicks for an algorithm. We're just creating, making music, and that's what it means to me. That's what it would mean to me is that okay, somebody that they're not really, because it's people that seem like they making songs trying to get in the algorithm. And the algorithm changes. So if you made a song to get in the algorithm today, I ain't gonna be listening to that in 2 weeks or whatever. So it seems like it would be a timeless project that would work before and after what they consider the algorithm.
Yes, sir.
Definitely.
All right.
So last question. When Patchwerk started, we talking about generations ago.
30 years.
For the next generation, what would be your advice to all the creators, the writers, people who want to dance, people who want to do music? What's your advice to those people?
Stop cheapening the brand. And so it's kind of like, I tell people that you think you're doing something when you're not spending your budget. If you're a new artist and you got a $500,000 budget and you're trying to get beats for cheap, you're trying to get mixes for cheap, you're trying to get studio for cheap, and you'll hear people be like, man, we got a recording budget and we ain't even touched it yet. And I'll be like, man, you dumb, right? Because that's the project they're going to shelf. Now, I know when they signed Janet and Def Jam and Mariah, they had gave them so much money that the album had to come out. They had to get their money back. And so to me, it's kind of like you got to understand the business. It's almost like if you in a company and they give you a budget of $200,000 a year and you only spend 50, well, guess what? Next year, the budget going to be 50. They're going to cut it down. So we're in the process of one, man, I don't even write my rhymes. Man, I made that beat in 5 minutes. Man, I went in the booth and I did this shit and I did all this shit at home. Well, you just said your shit is worthless. Why you want somebody to pay or support that?
Right.
Whereas in Nashville or Tennessee, they like, oh, we get in the studio. We play live musicians. We write the songs. We spent 3 weeks working on this one record and we got it perfect and we did this. For whatever reason, we in the room, instead of raising up, we like to bring everything down to where we are, and that's a problem. And so it's kind of like I would tell people to know your value and operate like you have some value.
Right.
And if somebody doesn't want to pay you for what it's worth, that's just the wrong person. For the music, I would just encourage people to work with people around. If you're creating a party record, get in the vibe like you at a party. Like I keep saying, it's so our people, the more money they get, they put studios in their house. They put bowling alleys in their house. They put a movie theater in their house. They have a chef come to their house. They have a trainer come to their house. They have the people to wash their car. They come to the house. So the thing that was connecting them to their fans and their people, they don't experience it anymore. And it comes out in their records like they're not really connecting anymore. So I would encourage people to, like I say, man, hey, get back in the studio, even if it ain't here, or get somewhere where it's people around you. Like them first albums, whether it's the Dog Pound, Wu-Tang, Ludacris, Jeezy, when you see the sessions of Jay-Z now, it was 15, 20 people in the room.
It's a bunch.
Yeah. And those people all are, even if they're not saying something or saying anything, you may be watching that person to see if he's nodding his head.
Yeah.
If he ain't nodding his head, you're going to change the beat.
Yeah.
But if you're just working by yourself, the music isn't made to be enjoyed by yourself. So why are you creating it by yourself? You know what I mean? And I think that would put the connection back, that if there's more people around offering input to the creative process. And that's why we like these big rooms, because you can bring all the people here.
You can fit people in here. Yeah.
Man, this is super dope, man. First of all, we want to say thank you for taking the time out to have us here, man.
No problem.
We at the Legendary Studios once again with Mr. Curtis Daniel III, Patchwerk. Man, this has been an honor. Thank you so much. This is our first episode of Built Before the Algorithm Studio Editions at Patchwerk Live ATL. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Peace.
Fake tears of joy, but they really crying. Roaring in the mirror until they realize that they lying. ATL United pick posted for the thrill. Didn't mention the people who's with. Just cleared 100 mil. Stunting for the hell of it. Never respond to irrelevance. Many people nowadays artificial without intelligence. We solid gold. Who go hard like this? That's why they associate bags with bars like this. Slyce.
Stay off the roof of your mother getting the boot, shorty cute. Brush me off, but you know them shooters shoot. Accurate legend, coup caught her slipping, but now I'm mute. Fuck your gold digger pursuits. Bless me in the phone booth. Summer of 92, it was dark as a rotten tooth. Just the art of rhyming aloof. Life's about timing. I kept a Timex before my Brightland mindset. Practice cursive before I signed checks. So now my penmanship on endless shit. Like, click, submit for your lifetime hustle. Membership, you know war is sub-zero cold. Fucker, I gotta finish you.
Yeah.